What's up everybody, Frank from 5AM Ramen, and I am back in snowy Sapporo City, Hokkaido for more amazing Sapporo ramen. We're staying away from miso ramen today, and even though miso ramen is very much part of the Sapporo ramen fabric, there's a lot of amazing ramen here that isn't miso ramen, and that's what we're highlighting today. Best of Sapporo ramen, part 2 technically, starting now. Welcome back to 5AM Ramen, where we teleport you to Japan and introduce the most delicious ramen in Japan. I'm Frank, your ramen-loving host, and this is the 8th video in a big Hokkaido ramen series. Hokkaido is often referred to as a ramen kingdom in Japanese, and for good reason. They worship ramen up here. We started our Hokkaido ramen trip in Hakodate, one of my favorite cities in Japan. It's home to brightly flavored shio, or salt-seasoned ramen. From there, we headed up to Sapporo, sampling delicious miso ramen and some other styles too. Most recently, we were in Asahikawa for their hearty shoyu, or soy sauce seasoned ramen. We just left Asahikawa and are back in Sapporo now. Today ends up being perhaps the heaviest day of the whole Hokkaido trip. After 2 bowls in Asahikawa in the morning, we're doing 3 big bowls in Sapporo today. This would normally be just another day at the ramen office, but the noodles are massive up here, and the bowls overall in Hokkaido aren't exactly small. Here's our first bowl back in Sapporo. We're having it at Isono Kazuo, a tiny ramen shop that's in this nondescript building in central Sapporo. It's a popular spot, and the ramen of choice is called Sapporo Black. They use a dark tamari shoyu, or soy sauce, to season the bowl. It features plenty of garlic, and there are stir-fried onions too. But it's lighter than it looks, with chicken and pork bones in the soup, along with kelp from Rouse, Hokkaido. Also, Isono Kazuo is on Tabelog's Top 100 East Japan Ramen list. What that means is that on this website, Tabelog, which is basically a local review website, these are the best ramen shops in all of East Japan. Oh, and an extra bonus, they're open all night. They are a 5 AM ramen shop. Let's get my thoughts on the ground after eating this bowl at Isono Kazuo. So, jet black ramen at Isono Kazuo. That was a hefty bowl to start, although technically I'm on my 3rd bowl for the day. Feel free to check out the previous video. I was just in Asahikawa, another great ramen city further north from Sapporo. But now back in Sapporo, I started with a heavier bowl, the famous and infamous Sapporo Black. It's kind of like a cross between Sapporo miso ramen and also Toyama black ramen, because they don't use miso seasoning, they use shoyu or soy sauce seasoning, and a lot of it. This is a bold, salty, and slightly sweet soy sauce that they use. A lot like in Toyama, where the soy sauce just takes over everything. The salt content, at least in Toyama, was meant to replenish nearby workers. Here, I think they're replenishing people that work in the red light district after a night of working. So a little bit of a different purpose for the locals. So yeah, again, very salty, super soy saucy, replacing the miso ramen. But where it was similar to miso ramen was the stir-fried vegetables. You got a lot of smoky moyashi. You can see him there in the tiny space, using the wok to perfection, the flames going way up high because of that. So nice smokiness, and a thick layer of pork lard like you see in a lot of Sapporo miso ramen bowls. That's to trap in the heat and also just give it this oily richness. In addition to that, thick wavy noodles just like in Sapporo miso ramen, nice garlic notes, although the soy sauce was most prominent, chewy bamboo shoots, super runny egg, a tasty, warms you up and fills you up bowl. And what I like about this spot is that this spot is loved by locals and tourists. It's very conveniently located in central Sapporo, and the tenshu, or the owner, he's a fun guy. I was like, can I take photos or video of you making the ramen? He's like, yeah, sure, take whatever you want. Of course, ask permission when you're in a ramen restaurant, just so you set the right tone from the beginning. I always ask permission if I can take photos of the ramen too. But yeah, he's like, take as many photos as you like. Tiny little counter seat place, and that's part of the charm. Even though Isono Kazuo is not that old of a ramen restaurant here in Sapporo, it's become a very important part of the ramen scene. Great bowl, and we're keeping with the jet black theme because now we're gonna be grabbing black sesame tantanmen at one of my favorite ramen restaurants. I've never been to their headquarters here in Sapporo, and we'll actually be seeing them full on making this dish in the kitchen. Let's go. Next up is 175 degrees DENO. who are famous for delicious tantanmen, a spicier style of ramen originally derived from Chinese dandan noodles. 175 degrees refers to the temperature at which they cook their homemade ryu, or chili oil. This is just one of many top-tier ingredients going into their tantanmen. 175 DENO has branches in Tokyo, but this shop in Sapporo is their flagship shop. And since I know them, we're jumping into the kitchen to watch them prepare a ramen that is on only a limited time menu in Sapporo. And it's a crazy tower of a ramen, inspired by Jiro style ramen. After 2 bowls in Asahikawa and a hefty bowl at Isono Kazuo here in Sapporo, this one really does me in, but it's fantastic, as you'd only expect from 175 DENO. They also have been on Tabelog's top 100 East Japan list in the past. Let's get my recap of this massive ramen now.
Oh, that was great. I never tire of DENO's tantanmen. White or black sesame, both are awesome. And I'm glad I got to sample a dish that is only available at their Sapporo Honten. What's fun about their Honten, or their flagship shop, their headquarters, is that it's small and cozy. Snazzy black sign on the outside, but on the inside, a little place with countertop seating and just 2 tables in the back. You really feel at home. And there's a word in Japanese, I think the Germans have a similar word, but it's kojinmari, and it basically means cozy. Think of small little places. It's snowing outside, very inviting to go in. And that's what I felt over there when I was climbing that tantanmen mountain. Ice pick in one hand, chopsticks in the other. Now, I gotta take a big break because of the size of that bowl. My God, I've had 4 today, but I wasn't too full after the first 2, and I had a nice break before the 3rd and the 4th, but the 3rd and the 4th were not exactly small bowls, so I am knocked out a little bit right now. But I'm not gonna end here. I'm gonna bring you at least 1 more fantastic Sapporo ramen restaurant. Somehow I'm gonna squeeze it in. Also because tomorrow's gonna be a little bit of a slower day. I'm probably only gonna have 2 to 3 bowls. So, in other words, I gotta push on.
Last but not least, on our Sapporo Ramen Day is Menya Keserasera. Whatever will be, will be. And what will be the ramen here is a shio ramen, as they call it. It's basically a salt-seasoned bowl that's tori paitan, or rich chicken ramen. They also have shoyu, miso ramen, and skemen, or dipping ramen, on the menu. But the shio ramen is their creme de la creme. We're following a pattern here. Menya Keserasera has been part of Japan's top 100 East Japan list many times before. To change the flavor of the soup, tabletop condiments include yuzu kosho, black pepper, togarashi, and garlic. I don't use condiments that much when eating ramen, but with richer ramen like this, I like to. But this ramen isn't overly rich. More details about this now.
You can see a lot of these houses. The first floor is elevated, the entrance, just so all that snow that piles up isn't keeping the first floor freezing cold. They also have the double entrance. This, more than anything else up to now, signifies that this is snow country. Okay, weather report done. Ramen report coming up. Menya Keserasera, you gotta love the name, loves their Beatles music. Beatles music was playing the whole time I was there. Couldn't help but sing along. And I was struggling. These thick Sapporo noodles are killing me. And you basically had thick Sapporo miso ramen-like noodles in their shio ramen. But the ramen was like a tori paitan, or rich chicken ramen. It wasn't super thick, nor was the soup too rich. So it was right in between, I guess, where you could call it a shio ramen, but you could also call it a tori paitan ramen. That salt seasoning was shining through, as were the rich chicken flavors. Well balanced. It had a clean, gentle quality to it, let's say. And this is almost to the point where it tasted like corn soup. That's how clean and refreshing it tasted. You know the drill with toppings. I don't think I need to describe them. What the heck. Negi, half a soft boiled egg, memma bamboo shoots, and a big slab of fatty chashu pork. Nice and fatty, nice and soft. Negi or spring onions are always nice, but I felt they were particularly nice. The green negi inside this richer soup. Nice contrast and nice sweetness. So my phone gave out. It's a Tokyo phone. It's used to the warmer temperatures there. Maybe that's what it was. The cold could have something to do with it because it wasn't like it was on 5% or anything like that. But I ended up waiting at that station for about 30 minutes actually because of heavy snow recently. The trains come less frequently. But as I was there, I don't know, just trying to pass time, I have on my backpack a Lord of the Rings ring, the ring of power. And it's on a chain and sort of got caught in in the bench that was there. And I didn't make note of that. I didn't realize that it had come off at the time. But about 10 minutes later, I looked at my backpack and I was like, oh, the ring is off. And then there it was in the snow, and so dramatically, it made me think of Lord of the Rings as I was sifting through the snow to find it, as if I had found the Ring of Power. The ring doesn't have any effect on me yet, and it's been with me the whole time, so not that it would change anything.
Why not? Why shouldn't I keep it?
Just a silly way to pass the time as I was waiting for that train in the cold.
Thank you for watching this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of the latest 5 AM Ramen videos. In our next Hokkaido Ramen series video, we are going to Chitose, and we are maintaining the massive ramen theme. We're getting big bowls in Chitose at another place on Tabelog's top 100 East Japan ramen list. Chitose is where the airport is, and it's just a quick train ride from Sapporo. I hope to see you in that video, the next one in the series. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time.